Hello everyone, Baron Pike here again, and I've got another interesting video for you today, something a little bit different. So just yesterday we had the Shooting Stars update. This is something that I didn't think I was going to be incredibly excited for, but after trying the content myself and finding a few stars, I was very happy with how it all worked out. So I was able to find, I believe at this point I've been a part of mining about 4 or 5 stars, and I've had two of them pretty well all to myself. So I just thought I would share my sort of method of how I'm hunting stars. And this is the method that I think is really the most effective way to get your celestial ring or your prospector recolors, at least for now. Maybe when this content dies down, it'll be quite a bit easier to hunt the stars, but for now, I'm just going to show you guys my method, and I think this is personally the most effective way to get your stardust right now. So looking at the home page here, I'm not going to bother reading this all out to you. If you're interested in going to the RuneScape website and reading all of the information on shooting stars and the other updates that we had yesterday, then go ahead. But really the only important piece of information, well, there's a couple important pieces of information, but the most important piece of information in my opinion is right here. And I'm going to highlight this, and I'm going to read it to you. On every world, a shooting star will fall at a random spot selected from a predetermined list. This happens roughly every 2 hours, with variation of up to 15 minutes to stop them from being too predictable. So what does this mean? This means that on every single world in old school RuneScape, in roughly the same window of time, all of the stars will fall. Every 2 hours, the cycle will reset, and another wave of stars will touch down. You're only going to have so much time to find these stars before they're going to be taken by other players, and then you're going to have to wait another 2 hours to find one all over again. Scrolling down, there's information on the telescopes, and we will use the telescope as part of the star hunting method, but we don't really need exactly to know where the stars are going to touch down. We only need the time interval. It's going to be pretty important that you have the highest tier telescope for this to make this really effective, but if you had the lower tier telescopes, you could probably just use, if you have maybe a friend or a clan chat or something where somebody has the telescope, you could use maybe a telescope on World 330. That would give you a rough window of time of when the star is going to be touching down, but we really only need the time interval to know when the next wave of stars is going to be touching down. Now coming down here, there is a section on landing sites, and we will get to that in a minute, but I just thought I would note this right here on free-to-play stars. Because we're actually going to be doing this in free-to-play. We are going to be hunting and mining the stars in free-to-play. You will still get Stardust, but unfortunately you'll get reduced experience. However, I think most people are just going for the Stardust so that they can get the Celestial Ring, or perhaps the Prospector Recolor, so I don't really think this is all too much of a problem. Shooting Stars was originally for RuneScape members only, but in old school, they will land on free-to-play worlds too. However, without access to a telescope, players will have to find stars by chance. Additionally, stars may still land in non-free-to-play areas on free-to-play worlds, rendering them out of reach. Stars will offer 50% of the usual value on free-to-play worlds, and as the rewards shop is not available, XP will be the only benefit. However, Stardust will still be given on free-to-play worlds. It's a good idea to save it up, ready to be used should you ever decide to become a member. So this information here is really important, and this is what makes the method, well, the method I've been using fairly effective. And that's because free-to-play players don't have access to a telescope. And even a members player who wants to hunt a star on a free-to-play world, they can't enter their player-owned house on a free-to-play world. So it is virtually impossible to know, on any world in free-to-play, where the star is going to land. However, that's where this landing sites information comes into play. So if we open this up, a lot of these spots are pretty vague. It's not entirely 100% sure where these are, but eventually, once lots of players find these stars and have them all mapped out, you're going to know exactly where all of these spawns are, so it's not going to be particularly hard to find them. Now, when we come down here, I thought it was very interesting that we have star spawns which are in the wilderness. And this is important because I'm going to be using the wilderness star spawns to my advantage. not only do I assume less players are going to be looking around the wilderness for these stars, but also a good number of these star locations are in areas where there are aggressive NPCs around. So if a player happens to stumble upon the star, they're not going to be able to very effectively mine until they spend 10 minutes losing aggression, or they have to be a fairly high level account with a high defense level. I personally would recommend you just use one of these locations, and for the purpose of the video today, I am going to be using this location right here, the Dark Warriors Fortress South. Well, hello again. We are in my house now. Nothing really much, but the important part is I've installed myself one of these mahogany telescopes. So we're going to go ahead and observe, and we have a 58-minute to 1 hour window of time in which this star will touch down somewhere in Tehran. Now, again, this location does not matter. We are not paying attention to these locations at all, so that does not matter for this. The only thing we care about is that window of time. Now, at my current time, it is 2:45 p.m., which means that there's a 58-minute to 1 hour window from 2:45 p.m. in which that star will land on this world. So I will note that between 3:43 and 3:45, that's roughly when the star is going to land on this world. Now, the only thing we need is that time window because, again, this is what's important. The stars all spawn in waves. There's only a very limited amount of time in between the stars spawning on each individual world in all of their different spawn locations, but we know that all of the stars on free-to-play worlds are going to spawn at approximately the same time as the stars spawn on the members' worlds. Now there's 46 to 48 minutes. So I'm going to use this lower value, 46 minutes. 46 minutes from the current time, it is now 2:46. So that would be 2:52 plus 40, 2:36, I think. I'm not gonna, that sounds about right to me. I mean, I already looked for these stars earlier. So now, that's what our new window of time looks like. 2:36 to 3:45, or no, 3:36 to 3:45. That's the window of time. Now, I've already hopped through a lot of these worlds for this star wave incoming, but I just thought I would show you the process of how I narrow down roughly when the wave is incoming. Now, if I look at some of the things that I said earlier, in the chat box at some point I typed 3:23, 3:50. That means that between 3:23 my time and 3:50 my time is roughly when the next wave of stars will be touching down. And I looked through about 10 to 15 different worlds to get that time window. Now, unfortunately, that's not for a little bit of time here now, so I'm not going to be able to show you until the next star wave is coming down, but luckily for you, and the magic of editing, that's going to be in just a few seconds. Hello again. Now, because I am out here at the, whatever you want to call this, Dark Warriors Fortress South coal mine, something like that, there's a lot of skeletons around here that attack me, so I've gone ahead and brought some food, brought a rune kite shield, and I'm just going to be spending 10 minutes out here losing aggression so that when the star touches down and I want to mine it, none of these skeletons will mess with me. I still have a roughly 15-minute window before any of the stars will be touching down, and then after that I'm going to start world hopping on my other accounts to have a look around. And here we go. I'm excited that this worked so fast, but we've gone ahead and found a star. Congratulations, I'm the first person to find it. Not really surprised there. Let's go ahead and prospect it. What size is it? It's only a size 4, but I'm going to go ahead and get mining on this bad boy. And I'm also going to keep hopping through with my HiveMind accounts so that they can find me some more stars. So this is pretty interesting. I'm mining this this star on the main account here, and if I actually go ahead and swap point of views to HiveMind 1, I've actually found another star out here. So I'm going to go ahead and prospect this one and see if I'm the first one to find this one too, and I am. This really should just prove to you just how good of a method this is. Now, because it's going to take a long time to mine 2 stars on just the main account, I'm going to go ahead and mine this star on the HiveMind accounts. And the HiveMind accounts actually have quite a bit of stardust. That stardust that you see in the inventory of HiveMind 1 is about the same amount of stardust as I have on all the other accounts. So I'm just going to go ahead and scoop this one up. I also like walking them out all around the star like this because it looks cool when they all mine the star like that. So looking at the point of view of Tis Talk Jake 1, I've actually invited a friend of mine to come out here and mine this. He's not just a random player, that is a friend of mine who I told to come here. He's also trying to get the Celestial Ring. I'm hoping with enough of my method here, with enough star hunting, I can get the ring by the end of the second day and upload this video just so that it really pushes the point out there that I think this is the best way to hunt stars, is to just camp one location, hop through every world, and just use the telescope to roughly predict when the waves are each going to crash. So as you can see by the health bar on the star, eventually it is going to degrade and you're going to have to click it again. And when it degrades, it means that the next inner layers have more stardust and require a lower mining level. But I'm not really sure if it mines faster. It seems like it does once you get to the inner layers. So I'm just going to go ahead and let this roll until, yeah, there we go, poof. Now if we prospect it, it's now a size 3, requiring only level 30, and we can, oh, I attacked my buddy by mistake, fuck. Anyway, let's just keep mining away. So I found another star on a different world during this same wave. This is all during the same about 15 to 30 minute window that all of these stars have come down. There's a few other players here taking it, but I have 8 accounts on this rock, so I am going to take most of this stardust from these guys, unfortunately. Fortunately for them, fortunately for me, but hey, what can you do? And here we're getting down to the very end of the rock, and it is going to poof at any point here. Boom, there we go, the rock's gone. I got 947. Now if I go ahead and hop to 545, there is another rock here. I will show you. Got another rock here. The hives are currently mining it. Oh, there's a guy here, by the way. This guy here, Get Flocked, he ragged me earlier, so he might try and attack me. Hello again, I am here in Falador, just by the Mining Guild entrance, and as you can see, I've got myself 2087 Stardust. I didn't get all of that in the video today. I had 1087 of it already in my bank before I started recording. I got 1,000 from the just one wave of stars that we tracked today. So it was really, really successful. And now if I come to this guy, and I trade with him, the Celestial Ring Uncharged is currently worth 2,000 Stardust. So we'll go ahead and we'll buy the Celestial Ring, and wow. That is really cool. I might be one of the few people in the game who has one of these already. This is the second day, the day after release. And we've already got ourselves the Celestial Ring, which I think is going to be the important thing that a lot of people are going to want, as it gives that invisible mining boost. And the whole charging it, though, to get additional ores is meh. I don't know if a lot of people will use that, but just having this for the mining boost, like, I love mining, I'm level 99, so having the invisible +4 boost when mining is going to be pretty cool. Anyway, that about concludes it for my guide here today on how to track shooting stars in free-to-play. Thank you for everybody who enjoyed. If you liked the video, maybe leave a like, leave a subscribe or something. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next video.